I'm going to show you how to use some basic codes in StudioCode. StudioCode lets you take a video and add drawings to it and codes to it to share with your students so that they can get some detailed feedback. So you can either click on StudioCode here, or if it's not on that toolbar, click Command Space on a Mac, type in StudioCode, hit enter, it opens it up. You can tell because it says StudioCode here. Go to File, New, Timeline, and then I've already downloaded a video file, which is here in my Downloads folder, so I'll click on that. Click Yes for that. It was giving me a different warning because I've done this already. Oops. So I need to make the video smaller. I just dragged it to the side and it makes it kind of fit in. You can click this button here and it shrinks the video down. Okay, one of the first things you're going to want to do is click File, New, Code Window. Make sure that you have this icon selected. That means you're in edit mode. You can drag a code down here, and that could be something like hands overhead. Bring a new one down, hands below head. And we can bring some labels down too, and that could be left hand. The group is important. I'm going to put hands for that. Another label, right hand, put it in the same group, and then I could do both hands if I wanted to. You can drag those around just to make it convenient to click on them while you're using them. So let me make this a little smaller. You'd probably just want to start at the beginning of your video and pick one code to start with. So I'll code all the time that I'm going to be giving Megan feedback. That's my sister. Every time her hands are over her head. So I'll click play. And if it's too fast, you can click here and adjust the speed. So her hands are over her head in this section. Oh, this is important. So to start using the codes, you need to make sure that this button is selected. It's thinking that's the code mode. So while her hands are over her head, you see that I click that and it stays clicked. Once her hands are down, then I can unclick it, and if her hands are below her head now, I can click on that, unclick it, hands go over the head again, I can do that, and then off, and that, and on. And I realized I wasn't in sync with the video, but I'm just showing you how to use it. So now it creates what are called instances. You can see this is the hands over the head row, the hands below the head row. When I'm ready to go through and apply my labels, I need to make sure that I have this selected, and I'll play it and say that her left hand goes over her head. So if I right click there, then it goes to hands. And if her left hand's over her head, then I can click that one. Can right click on this one, say it was her right hand. And those ones I won't put the labels on because her hands were below her head. I can see all of that data really quickly here if I click on matrix. I have my hands overhead, hands below head. I've used each code twice. And in the hands label, I've used the left hand one once and the right hand one once. When you're ready to share this, you just click on Export, Excel, and then save the file, and then you can share your Excel file with me. The other thing that we're going to want to do besides code is give feedback directly on the video. So I'll make this a little bit bigger for that. You'll click on this pencil button. It's your drawing button, and if you just want to draw, you can click that squiggly line, and that lets me draw shapes on here, or I can choose a shape. Or I can add text. And if I double click there, I can say, nice toenail. If you double click on these shapes, I found it doesn't work on the text. So if you're trying to do this to the text and you don't have a shape on the screen, I'd put a shape on the screen, bring up this window, go to the text, make the adjustments that you need, and then you can delete your shape. What you're going to want to adjust is, you can see the start time is just where on the video I've drawn the shape, but by default it goes to the end of the video, and I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to change the duration to 4 seconds, and I'll do that with the shape too. This shape I could change to 1 second, etc. And I'll show you what that looks like if I rewind the video. Oh, I didn't mean to go that far back. I think we were about here. Now if I click play, you can see that the shapes come on so that I can leave feedback for that part of the video, and then they disappear. When I'm done leaving all my feedback on this video, I've left notes and drawn shapes and things like that. I'm going to make sure that I have the video selected. I've clicked on it. And I'll go to File, Export, Movies, Convert Movie, and I'll put it on the desktop. And this is important. Make sure that you have Movie to Stream selected. And also make sure that you have Include Drawing selected, or it will export your video file, and then all the notes and drawings that you've left won't work. And then I'd click Save, and it's going to take several minutes to save it. The other thing that you're going to want to do is instance videos. So if I click on this row, you can see it highlights all the instances on this row by default. And then if I click Movie, it's going to make a movie that's just the hands over the head tags. So it's only playing that time to that time, and that time to that time. I could also just click on one of these, or if I hold down Command, I could click on as many as I want to make an instance movie. One thing that you'd want to do occasionally is go to Settings, click Append Slow, and OK. And this time, when I do an instance movie, if I just do this instance and click Movie, it will play the instance, and then after the instance is played, it will, you couldn't tell very well there, it kind of froze, but it will play the instance, and then it will go back through and play the instance in slow motion. Let's see if that works this time. I think this computer's just a little bit slow, but that's what the feature actually does. And so then if I want to export this movie, my instance movie, I do the same thing. File, make sure that I have the video selected, I have it clicked on. File, Export, Movies, Convert Movie, make sure it says Movie Stream, and if I had drawings, then I could do Include Drawings. Okay, so I showed you how to export your matrix that has your codes, how to export your movie file to upload to YouTube. I'll show you how to upload it to YouTube in a second. The last thing that you might want to do is to save this whole package. So save, you go to File, Save as a standalone package, and then save the package, and that way somebody who has StudioCode can open this up and they'll be able to see your timeline here with all of these codes on it, and the movie will be attached by default. When you just click on Save, what it's doing is it's saving your timeline, and so if you save that and then try to open it up later, this movie is not going to be attached to it any longer. You also might want to save this code book. So when you go to close it, you can save, and save it as dance codes. And that way if you want to use those codes again, you can bring them up and you don't have to remake the codes and the labels. Alright, the last thing I'll show you how to do is upload your files to YouTube. So open YouTube. You should have this upload button if you're signed in. And then you'll just drag your movie in there. and it will upload it to YouTube. Public means anybody can see it and search for it. If it's unlisted, it means anybody can see it if they have the link, and private means that only you are going to be able to see it. So you can do either unlisted or public to be able to share it with me. Alright, I think that's all.